Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Mystic Mayhem. I know that I have not been on in a little while. You guys might have seen my last video that I put out, which kind of made it sound like I was quitting, and I'm not. I'm still logging in daily, and it's funny actually because maybe a few hours after I put out the video, there was the announcement, of course, of the level cap rising. Do have my own thoughts about this update that's coming out on Thursday. That's what kind of why I wanted to do this video here today. Also want to talk about some of the things that I'm doing to prepare for that. I do think that, having a level cap increase less than 2 months of the game's release, I think is far too soon, and it is a bit of a red flag to me. But nonetheless, I'm still enjoying the game's core gameplay, and I really hope that they do turn it around and that we're going to see more positive improvements in the game. We'll be talking about that a little bit. All that more in today's video. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Now, I do just want to do a quick recap on Horror Hurricane. So this is coming to, I actually did not know there's a fourth phase. Behind my box, my head box here, there is a confrontation stage phase 4. I literally thought it was just 3 stages. I thought this was like, I didn't even know you could clear the fourth hurricane. I actually thought that was like something that was permanently going to be on the boss that you just could not get rid of. But no, you can get rid of every single ability. So this is 3 more days, which is going to end on Thursday, in fact, when the event goes live. And even if you've already cleared the giant armor, you can go ahead and still do some of these additional challenges to get some extra alliance credits, right? So that's something that I'm still doing. As far as the overview goes, I want to kind of talk about this a little bit, and I guess things have improved in this 4th phase. We cleared at rank 31, nothing stellar by any means. There is 69 alliances that have cleared the boss. So, okay, let's just say, for sake of argument, right, bring up the calculator over here. Calculators. This is like the bare minimum amount of players that would have cleared it, which is, I guess, is okay, right, for people who didn't really know what was going on with this event. So maybe about 3,500 players or just less than that, right, made some sort of impact on this event, and maybe some people might clear it within the next couple of days still. And so I guess that's okay, right? But I do think it's funny that they didn't even fill out the full top 100. But maybe things will change the next time around, that people know a little bit better more about like what to do on this than they did when it started, because honestly it was pretty vague. I think like how to do it, and there was a lot of text, but it was a lot of it was a lot of reading. And so I'm more of like a DIY kind of like see it. I need to see it to kind of understand it a little bit more. And now I understand. So we managed to get some dream cores. That's cool. And you get like a dream core every time you clear one of these anyways. So, it was decent on that front. But now that they're giving away more dream cores, I guess with Horror Hurricane, that is kind of leading into this new level cap and the kind of things that we're going to see. So I do want to talk about that, the update preview, right? So we're now going to level 70 to 80. And also the skills, your talents or whatever, is going from 7 to 8. And to go to 6 to 7, you needed 1 dream core. So I'm wondering, is that going to be then 2 dream cores that you need to take to 7 to 8, which means you need 3 cores to kind of max, 3 dream cores per skill to max them out, which would be a total of 5, right? So 15 per character, which could be quite extensive. Now they're just adding a +1 stage on these other ones, nothing insane. So when people were talking on my other video, like, yeah, they're bringing out all this stuff, it's actually like 0 content that they're bringing out to this. This is nothing new. They're adding, it's not new. It's just upgrading the difficulty. That's it. It's not going to be that hard. And then the talents increase. So all of this stuff is going up, but for what reason? And that's kind of what I'm wondering, right? Like, what's the point of all of this stuff, right? Of the 70 to 80. Also, your highlights can go 70 to 80. Your characters can go 70 to 80. What's the point? What reason do we need this stuff? Dreamscape unlock requirements, like that's not really a big deal either. They are changing the way that artifacts and stuff work. So you can only have one soon, coming Thursday. You can only have 1 unique artifact per character. But they are adding a orange quality of the existing artifacts. So, the jetpack for Thor. A lot of people love the jetpack for Thor. So you're probably going to be using Stormbreaker, which is the attack speed one, and then you're going to use jetpack for Thor, right? Like a legendary version of it. It is what it is. I mean, it's kind of sucky that they're doing this after, and it's kind of like a nerf because why did they not think about this in the beginning? I don't know. Increase the number and variety of attribute entries suitable for controllers and defenders. New attributes. I'm not exactly sure what this means exactly. Maybe the rates are different. Artifact drop rarity adjustments. So I guess it's going to be easier to find on this newest difficulty to find unique artifacts. And I think that they're making it so that specific challenges are going to have you can like it says increase the drop rate of epic common artifacts, but also that they might be easier to target farm. I thought that's where I said or where I saw, but maybe not. Seems that Fable difficulties have a chance to drop legend, but no longer drop unique. So you have to do difficulty 6 for unique. They're kind of like they're moving the goalpost a little bit, honestly, if I had to say. But there you go. Which have a chance to obtain. There's a new level 75 chest for Temple of Khonshu and Crimson Campaign. Targeted art. This is what I was thinking about. Each dungeon will only drop specific types of artifacts rather than all types. So this is interesting, right? If I'm looking for a Avengers ID card or a jetpack, right? It seems that you're going to want to kind of do this on specific days more than others. That it's gonna be easier to find specific artifacts, which actually I think is nice because I hated the fact that I was just kind of RNGing everything. Yeah. Other than that, that's that. So what am I doing to prepare? Right, we got all the same kind of. I didn't do a video on Dragon Armor because it's special damage, and honestly, it's the exact same fight. You're just using special damage characters, and if you kind of look at it, a lot of people are using some of the same stuff. Right? I mean, mine's not the best. I scored 3%. Right? I probably could have done a lot better. I'm just being really, really lazy right now. But as far as people who are scoring the best, you're seeing similar characters. You're seeing a lot of Thor. Actually, Doctor Strange, Thor, Scarlet Witch. You're seeing some Loki in here. You're seeing some Invisible Woman, I think, as well with Emma Frost. So a lot of these typical legendary characters that are special damage based. Sometimes I do see some Cap because his energy battering is pretty good. This one's interesting. Loki, Cap, and Dream Queen. I actually do really enjoy seeing a Dream Queen here in the top 100. Dream Queen. A lot of people are coming to the realization of Dream Queen. I love Dream Queen. And then there's like a Human Torch, Thor, and Invisible Woman. So you can see some of the different compositions here. But again, it doesn't really matter because the rank rewards are just still 1 to 5%. So as long as I score in there, and you know, honestly, even if I like, I would still be okay with this, right? So it's not really that big of a deal to push, right? There's no like top 100 or anything, which is kind of crazy. Like they're not really rewarding, I think, some of the whales and krakens. So there you go. That's that. Now, what am I doing to prepare for this level cap? I'm going ahead and I am first of all, make sure you have a lot of gold and tactic reports. That should be pretty basic. I don't know what it's going to cost, but I think the cost was quite hefty for to go from 65 to 70. Like I want to say it was like 200,000 per level. So maybe it wasn't that high, but I know like to go from 1 to max, it's quite a bit, isn't it? Like can I don't want to do it, but will it let me? Yeah. So you need about over 1 million. I don't know. It won't even like tell me over 1 million tactical reports. The gold, not so much, but the tactical reports are quite in there. So you probably want a good amount, even to go from 70 to 80 is going to be fairly expensive. If I had to wager, could be as high as like 1.5 million. So probably what I have is not even enough. I would probably need to make sure that I have like 5 million just to make sure I have like my top 3 or 4 characters at least that I could take there. Now it's going to be incremental, right? So we're not going to be doing this like, you know, it's not right on day 1 on Thursday that we're going to be taking all of them to 80. It's going to take a few days probably per level. So don't worry too heavily about that, I suppose. But make sure that you have those saved up and that you're going to be able to use them later on. Now, what's also important is that you do the treasure hunt because this is for ascension material. This is what you're going to need to get from 70 to 71, right? Both on your character and on your highlights. So whatever characters you use the most of. Now, for me, I'm using a lot of fighters right now. I'm using like Mr. Fantastic and I'm using Thor. And then supports, I have like Invisible Woman and Dream Queen, right? So there's some good characters in these categories. Tanks, I like Captain America. I don't really need to get the other ones up that fat. Maybe Thing, you know, so there's like 2 of each maybe that I would like to bring up from 70 up a little bit more. But again, I also need to bring their highlights up. So that's something important to note, that not only do you need to ascend them, you need to ascend their highlights. So I'm just going ahead and I'm farming this kind of like balanced. I'm making sure that I have the purples, all the stuff that I can turn into the legendary ones, because that's going to be really important. So if you go to the produce menu, you can see it here, right? It takes 3 of these, and I might just do this just one now just for shits and giggles. So we can go do this with the fighter. It doesn't cost that much gold, but it takes Oh, sorry, no, I meant I meant to do the orange one. So 3 of these, right, for 2,000 gold, and it gets me one of the orange stuff. And this is what you're gonna need to go from 70 to 80, right? That's both for your character and for the highlight. So I don't know how many of these it's going to take though, but if we go back and if we go back to a regular character, right? If we go back to thread again and where we take them up to max level, you can see that it took 16 of these purple ones to get to 70, right? And I think you started using them from level 50. So 50 to 51, and then again at 60 to 61. So if that's any indication, then maybe we would need at least 16 oranges, maybe a little bit more, because you can see that the purples actually, you need more purples than blues and so on. It's about a 25% more. So maybe about 20 of those oranges you would actually need just to max out the. Actually, I forgot. It's only one stage. It's only going from 70 to 71. It's not 20 levels. So maybe you don't need that one, but at least 10 you're probably going to need, and then another 10 for the highlight, right? So maybe 20 in total per character. That's what I would think. Unless you're trading highlights, that's fine, right? Maybe you're using one highlight for 3 characters, that's fine. But you might want to have at least 10 of these per stocked up, or to be able to buy that. Now, in order to do that, you would need to have about 30 of the purples, right? So clearly I need to farm more of the defense ones and more of the controller ones, and then also talking about the rune raids, making sure that you have this available for your talents as well. That's going to be a little bit different because there might be dream core requirements, and we might not be upgrading these as frequently, especially of the character levels and the highlight levels. Those are a bit easier to do, and especially if a lot of dream cores are required to do this. But nonetheless, making sure that you have some of this available to you, that you're farming this. Now there's 6 of them, right? So maybe just consider your top 6 characters that you plan on bringing up immediately, and just having some of those on stock as well. It's better to have this available while we can do this now, right? Where there's not a lot of stuff going on. You might as well just kind of farm into that now. And the other thing that I would do as well is make sure that you have, going into Thursday when the level cap goes up, make sure you have 500 out of 500 backup power, because then you're going to be able to use that, spend that on some of the new stages, get some XP especially, right? To be able to get experience towards the next level up. The other thing also, don't touch your memento unless you've already done this. I am not doing this. I actually wish that I held back on the story missions for Loki here, because this had XP on it, which was wasted, right? There was 70 XP per level, and all of this was wasted because I was at my level cap. So this is something that I wish I saved that I didn't do. But the memento is something that came out later when we kind of knew about it, I think, and I just decided not to do this. This has 70 XP per level, and there's another 7 of them. It's not a ton, right? 7 times 70 is 490. But that's still XP that I didn't have before. And so that will get me up a little bit faster if you're able to keep onto this. So that's about it, really. I mean, we have Crimson Camping. Did this reset this week? Do I need to run this again? No, not really. So there's not a whole lot going on, I guess. Oh, no, it's going to reset later on. I'm recording this on Monday, 2 hours before the reset. So yes, I will have to do some of this again this week. But otherwise, I'm just holding. Right, I'm not pulling into the Thor. I love Thor, and I would love to have his banner, but I'm not pulling 80 times to get the Berserker Rage highlight. Congratulations to the whales who are willing to do this, but there's just not enough free to play keys. 27, I could get 39 with the conversion. With the converter, probably I could get up to 60. That's probably where I'm sitting at right now. I'm still doing the daily gems. That's probably the only thing that I'm really buying in the game just to keep my entertainment, is the bats bonus, and I think that needs 6 days. I'll have to refresh that as well. But that's really all I'm doing right now. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Again, I'm a little bit confused in some ways. Like, this is just some sort of stall tactic. I'm not entirely sure. They're releasing this level cap increase, but they're not really. There's no real new content coming alongside this. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't think that like +1 stages on the existing challenges, it's not new content, right? I think people are going to be saying the same things in about a week's time, saying that they're bored or whatever. Like, they're not even going to be level 80 and they're still going to say that. So I really hope that there's something more solid and substantive on the way in Marvel Mystic Mayhem. Like, I really enjoy, like, I want to reiterate that I do enjoy the game's core gameplay, but I just need more to do. Like, I don't want like an hour of stuff to do, but I need more than like 5 or 10 minutes. I feel like that's all I'm on here for. It's definitely a side game for sure. For those of you who know me, my main game is Marvel Strike Force, and I also do play Raid Shadow Legends as well. But I would like some more manual gameplay to have some fun with on this. But that's just me. And maybe we'll have some more news about, like Alliance War Round 2 I guess, sometime later in the week as well. That's it for now, everyone, and I'll see you guys all on the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.